over your head, get to commune with you. Just like the earlier speaker said, that we are in this world to make impact. When they say who is a Christian, it's somebody who has a communion with God, who is in a community, who has character, who has the commission to spread the word. And as pastors, we have their own pulpits where they preach from. Your area of specialty is your pulpit where you preach the gospel of Christ to the world in the way you get into character, doing the things that you are gifted in doing. I really don't know. Normally when I come out, when I'm asked to come and speak at places, it's one of the most terrifying periods of my life, because I am somewhat someone who I'm not I'm someone who actually love my privacy. I always like to be, I'm a nerd, let me just put it that way. I'm a nerd. It was probably divine orchestration that made me get married. I would have married a computer long ago, because I was always by myself. And that is rooted in some things. Most of the time when you read a book called by Patrick Lencioni, when he talks about the 5 dysfunctions of a team, most of the time when you are grouped together, you go to state church, or you are on an assignment where you are going to be working with different people, because you don't know their background, because you don't know where they are from, because you don't know their story, you oftentimes tend to assume a lot, then guard yourself. Look at other people and believe that they are better than you, or you are better than them, and that becomes a friction. So whatever that is happening, you start sizing up yourself with these people, to the point that you forget where to plug in, where your gift starts and where their own begins. I don't take it lightly standing in front of you. It is only a foolish adult that will stand before children and be saying I am constituted authority. Because the children are the future. They will get to places where you will never get to. The future you are ruining is their future. Under normal circumstances, people in their 25s, 30s should be ruling this country. While people in their 40s, 50s will be the middle class, benefiting from the innovation from a young heart. But education came into Nigeria. I really wanted to pay attention, because it is not always, and it's not always that you find people caring enough to impact you. The country has driven us to a situation where everybody fend for themselves and their family. Sons. Me and my family. Nobody wants to educate any other person. Nobody wants any other person's name. But in those days when we were growing up, even if your mother is not at home, every mother on the street is your mother. When you are walking away, whatever crime you commit, there were no phones then. No matter what crime you commit, your mother will hear. Because there are mothers watching you. As you are living from one house to another, you are connecting to different parents, watching you, the way you dress, the way you walk, who you are walking with, what you are saying, what you are eating along the road. Your mother will tell you all these things when she gets back from wherever she has gone. Because that is how society was wired at that time. Today's society, your neighbor living in the same flat with you don't care if you are being robbed. They don't care if your house is burned. The only favor they will do is help you to catch it on camera so that they can post it on their Facebook page. The house burns today. I was there. That is the society you find yourself in. So I don't take it lightly standing before you this morning. I really want to share some things with you that you probably will not hear from anywhere else. And I want to open your eyes to some things. When you look at yourself as a being, when you were born, of course, most of you must have encountered some frictions with people before. When they tell you you are not good enough. When they tell you they print out a result in your school and say you didn't come first to third, so you probably don't matter. And then you begin to believe those lies, you know, begin to look at yourself and tell yourself you are not good enough. Forgetting the fact that there were many of you that ran towards your mother's egg, but only you successfully fertilized that egg and came out as a child. That is a success. Clap for yourself for that, for the person. If you don't value yourself at all, you tell yourself that even when I was unconscious, when I don't even know who I was, I won that race between 1,000 other possibilities. But I made it. And because you made it, there is an unction in your life. There is a commission in your life. There is a purpose in your life that says that there is a problem to which you are the answer to. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't want you to go silent. We're doing this together. Okay? Are you there? Yes, sir. Hello? Hi. Well, just pay attention. When you look at the self, your person, there are two components of the self. That is the yourself, the human self, and the God self. The human self is the you, is the ego, the I. The emi, as the song that you go listen to, you know. But there's an emi, tinja emi. That is the God self. We call it conscious and the subconscious. The conscious is I am here, I can touch myself, I can feel myself, I'm wearing Gucci, I'm wearing Versace. But there's a self that tells you, Tino, that is not good. Tino, how will you dress like this? Going to church. That self, that silent mind, is the God self inside of you. So we have the conscious and the subconscious. You look at the world, you look at Nigeria as a whole with over 120 million people. Multiply that by 2. Of course, we all have 2 eyes. Multiply that by 2. You can imagine the number of eyes that God has created that sees not. And why are they not seeing? Because the conscious and the subconscious are not in sync. Until the self and the God self come together in communion, in agreement. That's why they say, receive Christ as your Lord and Savior. It is not a ritual. It is an equation that opens your eyes to possibilities. Accepting Christ as your Lord and Savior is the same thing as making your conscious and subconscious see. And when that happens, your eyes sees things. You begin to see things deeper than they actually are. And that is the state of enlightenment. When they say you are not enlightened, normally if you tell a Nigerian you are not enlightened, you just got by there. It's a compliment. But when you tell somebody who has a brain that you are not enlightened, you kill yourself. Normally, because it means you are a waste of space. It means the trees that are suffering to produce oxygen for all of us to use, they are laboring in vain. They are not meant to be wasting this energy, the effort of poor trees. Who produces fruits that they cannot eat themselves? Where are we? We're talking about the self. How can someone or a group of people that don't even know who they are build a nation? How can they form a community? How can a society thrive when we don't know who we are? I'll tell you a short story. And that story summarizes where we are today as a people. A country filled with a village of people who don't know who they are, who don't know why they are, who enjoy music, who want power without responsibility, people who want to be big men without working for it, people who want to achieve great success and drive big cars and wear blings and sports beautiful naked women around them when they are taking their selfies, but they don't really want to work for it. They want to be celebrated, they want to be important, but they don't want to exert any energy to make that possible. There's a city. There's a story about a city on the hill. That city is like El Dorado. You know what El Dorado is? El Dorado is like a place where you find gold. You know, it's a wonderful place where, in fact, the city is the best place you can ever imagine. think of in your mind, if you can picture, if you can use your mind to draw a picture, if there's ever a place you would love to find yourself, that is where how the city of the hill was. It was a shining city, a blossoming, thriving city. Everything was. It's like heaven. How many of you read my book of Bible stories? Have you seen it before? That yellow book that you probably thought when you were a child, because you don't know the value, you don't know what it is all about. When they picture heaven or paradise, you see the way the lovely, rosy, colorful, wonderful pictures and please the smile, original, not the one that you see at the bus stop here. The original smile, from a happy child, not the one that was tickled and then quickly taking a picture just to sell and just to raise funds. No, as in actual belly laughs and actual joy, paradise. That was what the city of the hill was. But over time, people started turning against themselves. They forgot their origin. They forgot who they are. They forgot what made them who they are. They started turning against themselves. They started turning on each other. The poets, who poets are? Poets are those who write things that makes you use your brain to draw pictures. They paint pictures with words. The poets started, they started thinking that dancers were shallow. So can you imagine some just dancing? And then they put words together and make them feel good. So they are useless. They are hopeless. And then the soldiers thought that the poets were weak. And this was just sit down here and be writing. Is he writing that we're going to eat? We that went to war, carry gun, kill enemies, but better, stronger than people just sit on the spot and start writing things. The elders thought the young were foolish. Like in our country where they look at us, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a doctor. Oh, clap for yourself. Don't worry, you're the future leader. That same man in your primary school is still heading the country till today, 40 years after. The adult felt, who are these ones? I have people like you at home, my children, that cannot even wash plates. I pay them, I give them allowances. They can't secure any job because they don't know anything. They go to the best universities in the world. They're actually looking for places to struck them in. So I have useless youth at home who are my children. So I cannot respect you because my own children are not worthy of my respect. So why would I trust you, hand over all our sweat to you to handle when I know that my son cannot even wash or carry plates? He cannot even take care of himself. Cannot even account for the money I'm giving him as pocket money. So why would I give myself over somebody else's need? We will continue to rule until we die. Even when we die, our coffin will contest for election. So the adults thought the young ones were foolish. And the rich men never hear the poor man speak. When people are speaking, they say, what do you have? Where have you been? Who is talking? You not even living that face me, palo, face me and slap your apartment. What do you want to say? Do you know how many houses I have built? Do you know how many places I have in my village? So please, when we're speaking, don't talk. What do you have? How much do you have in your bank account? How many accounts do you have? Where are your children? How many children? In these days, when adults, when they are speaking, they both based on the number of children they have. You that have 2 children cannot be talking to people who have 16 children from 3 different wives. It's an achievement at that time. One by one, they ran away with a made-up mind to leave it all behind. And the light began to fade in the city of the hill. Each one thought that they knew better, but they were different by design. Instead of standing strong together, they let the differences divide. And the world is still searching for that city of the hill. But what the people of the city of the hill do not understand, again, when we're talking about a people, a city, a community, we're not just talking about a stagnant set of people. If I'm talking about your school, Unilab, Yabate, Baptist Academy, what have you, I may be judging them based on the actions of a particular set. But people are in generations. The generation that left Egypt were not the one that got to the promised land. I hope you know that. I'm sure they see Bible studies in churches in this century. Are you here? Am I boring you? Am I disturbing you? Am I too exoteric? Am I speaking English? Am I being big? Am I coming to your level? Am I communicating? Do you understand what I'm saying? Are you getting better? Are your eyes open? If not, just raise your hand, don't worry. I'm very democratic. I'm in your church, so you are on your parade. Alright. And what these people don't know is that it was the reading of the dancers that gives the poet life. It was the spirit of the poet that gives the soldiers strength to fight. It was the fire of the young ones. It was the wisdom of the old. It was the story of the poor man that needed to be told. But one by one, they ran away with a made-up mind to leave it all behind, and the light began to fade in the city of the hill. Today, the father is still calling. He said, "Come home to the city of the hill." The same call is being given to Nigeria today. We have forgotten who we are. We have forgotten our roots. Our children are now cultures because of. Are you twins or brothers? You are twins. I always smell twins. Not to have them, but I appreciate that from another person. You know, the father is calling like this. Please go back to your roots. Find yourself. We are not becoming culturalists. What do I mean culturalists? There's something called cultural conflict. Now we don't need to travel to have cultural conflict. You know, the TV, the MTV base, the Sun City, whatever it is they call them, they are all in your face. You see a child that can barely talk, dancing funny steps that even you cannot even recognize because of the things that she has opened the windows of her heart to. You know, I'll come back to good or bad or good or evil or whatever. You know, but for now, let's just follow me. We have lost our identity. We don't know our purpose. When I mean you don't know our purpose, what is an iron used for? No, speak this. What's an iron used for? Iron. Press an iron, as you call it. Just to iron clothes. Let's be very local here. There's no English, you know. I don't understand English properly myself, so don't worry, you know. To iron clothes. But do you know that the iron has an element inside of it? If you plug the iron, what happens? The elements, there's a kinetic motion that goes on in the system that heats up the iron. The same element is the boiling ring. Okay? And it heats up as well. And it's plugged as well. So it is logical for your household to carry a whole iron and put it inside water to boil the water. Is it not? Is it not logical? Is it not logical? Is it not plugged? It's not iron. It's not metal. Can you not boil it if you can heat up? But is that the purpose of the iron? Is that the purpose of the iron? So when you abnormally use something that contrary to the purpose for which it was designed, you damage that thing. That is why we have a whole country of damaged people. I've been to several parts of the world and I get to learn culture by driving on the streets. When you drive in Nigeria, you understand Nigerian leadership. People overtaking from under. People that are overtaking from this side. And they will see that and they will say they are the mad ones. But they will want you to, they will project their failures and their evil on your head and punish you for it. They are the criminals, mind you. They are the criminals, but they will make you feel guilty for their crimes. It has gone that bad. To the point that the people that the man driver is conveying the passengers, they will be pointing out from their window that you two, what is wrong with you? What is there? You want to carry the road away? Let us pass, we are going somewhere. They will support the madman, conveying them to their death. That is the country we live in. Why? Because we don't know our purpose. What is purpose? I've already defined it. What is purpose? The original design of a thing or an individual of a person? How do we find purpose? When we were born, we came into this world as a newborn baby, born with amnesia. In other words, you know what amnesia is? When you were born and you don't remember why you were born, but you know nothing. You know, you've seen these movies where somebody wakes up in the morning and can't remember who he is. You don't know anybody around you. You can't recognize them. You don't know who you are. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you look like. Your memory has been wiped. You know, so you don't know. It's just like a flash drive that has been formatted. So that's how we came. We were formatted. We don't know anything about ourselves. So we have to learn to work, learn to talk, learn to socialize, see things around us and begin to learn them. I'm sure most of you have seen this cross before. It's a lovely cross, isn't it? Have you seen the cross before? Some of you wear them, some of you draw them, some of you make them. When you do something, you do like this, kind of the cross. You know? Let me tell you something about this cross today. And you probably will not have noticed. This is your purpose in life. And I'll tell you how. See this place? This is what you love to do. Here, the top there. This is what you love to do. There is something that you are supposed to do. And there's something that you love to do. This is urgent, but this one, let me quickly do this thing. You enjoy doing this thing to the point that if they ask you to do this thing for the rest of your life, you will prefer to do this. But this is what will bring you money. This is what will pay your bills. This is what will make you somebody in the future. But this one, you just love doing it. To some people, it may be singing. You know those ladies that won't let neighbors rest in the house when they are singing. You know, when they're dating, oh Jesus, I promise, you know, they sing, and the boss is singing. They are in the bedroom, they're singing. When they get to church, they are the most quiet people in the world. Because they are afraid to showcase what they have. Because they probably they don't believe in themselves. But they have these gifts. They love singing. But their parents have told them, the way to success is to go to school, get a certificate, come outside and look for a job, so that you can get a job, be able to pay your bills, find a man, marry, have children, pay your bills, and wait for them to come. That's the purpose that we're being told. That everybody who will make it in life have to go to school, sit down in front of a lecturer, and it gets tougher and tougher. Now lecturers don't want children to succeed because they're not succeeding. They will fail you, they will threaten you, they will ask for sex, they will do all sorts to frustrate your life. And after going through all these hurdles, you come outside, the promises of the government that happened during our parents' years. You know, in those days, my father went to school normally because the parents asked him to go to school. Went to school, became a civil servant, he was the in-thing there. They are giving him an option, you want to go to London or you want to collect B2 and be a civil servant in Nigeria. I want to collect B2 now because I'm riding a bicycle. I want to marry. If I carry B2 there, I will have more value in front of my in-law. Instead of going to one London like that, I don't want to do London. Those are the options there. You are guaranteed a car to get your country. I hope I'm not talking about your parents. Can somebody confirm this? Do you have parents who live in that era? Because I know your parents must be young now. You know. Because a lot of us, I know I've met people whose parents were probably their ages are not far from my own. So some of these things they look very abstract. That is why, because history has been erased in your generation sadly. When things happen, you see that new. But these things are old. But because you don't listen to elders, because elders who are too esoteric, when an adult tells you something is so far away from you, you can't connect. And because of that, you go straight away and you make the same mistakes. So my parents went to school because they asked them to go because it was the next level. And a lot of people are doing that now. They go to school because they come out with that certificate. Thinking that as it were in those days, government will keep their word by saying you are going for NYC, there's a job out there waiting for you. There are no jobs out there. And why are there no jobs? It's because of this. We don't know our purpose. Oluwalame Lord and Sons are the nature of the kind of companies that we have in Nigeria. And the economy of now, the state of the world presently cannot sustain an Oluwalame Lord and Co. And I'll tell you why in a few minutes. Time is going, I may not be able to finish, but I'll leave you with something that you can hold on to and grow. This is what you love to do. This is what you give your life to do. Okay? This is what you are best at here. As in, if you are sleeping, you can do this thing. Okay? This is what you love to do. For example, Juliet likes to make hair. She enjoys it. She may stop school to make hair. She probably may not be a hairdresser, but she just loves making hair. Makes her happy. It is what she loves. It is what she's best at. There's nothing else she can do better than plaiting hair. Now, between what you love and what you love to do, and what you love to do, and what you are best at, that is nobody. When they talk about hair in your community, when they say, I want to be Juliet, she's the best in it. In fact, you see what she does. You are the household name in making hair. Between what you love and what you are best at lies what you call passion. When they say, I have a passion for singing, it means you are best at singing and you love to sing. That is the meaning of passion. In other words, what you love to do plus what you are best at equals passion. Down here is what you can be paid for. What you can be paid for. What you love to do, what you are best at, what you can be rewarded for. You know, you can be paid for it because Juliet can make hair, she loves it, she enjoys it, she's best at it. I will pay her for making me happy or for making me look good. So you can be paid for it. Now, between what you can be paid for and what you love to do, there's something called, this quadrant is called profession. Because you love it, because you are best at it, because you can be paid for it, it becomes what? Profession. So that's when they say, it's a professional. The ball that you kick to break your neighbor's window and get punished for it. People are playing that ball passionately and earning from it professionally. That's why they call it professional football. If you are playing and spoiling things in the neighborhood, you are not a professional because you are not earning. You are only getting punishment. Punishment is not a reward. You understand? So you become a professional. When they say you're a professional, you know there are professional liars. They are employed by government to lie to the public. That's their talent. Like I said, we'll get good or bad later. But let us see things like they are now. And professional pathological liars. They don't think about it, it just comes. The devil has inundated them with it. Untrue. That's what they live for. How it settles with their God self and their subconscious is a different thing entirely. But this is what they call, Yorubas will call it, Ishe Ashela. And you must have heard that before. There are lots of very close to you. You must have heard them say, I don't know what they actually translate into anyway. I'm a fake Yoruba, so I don't really. So, can you tell me what is this? And here? And here? So here, what the world needs. Here, what the world needs. What the world needs. The first speaker mentioned something about creating a community. Talk about creating a community. You are not born, your geography must not determine your future. In other words, you must not say, because I was born in the Bikemeta, I must become the king of the Bikemeta or the local champion of the Bikemeta. No, you must expand your vision. The world is actually waiting for your manifestation according to the Bible. In other words, what you think you're doing locally here, is actually something that the world is waiting for somewhere. Have you ever heard the story of local boys in Nigeria becoming great in America or in another country? I've not been arrested, so this is the consequences of that. So the situation where you find somebody who has been so good in what they do that the world is actually waiting for them. I've met designers. If you look at Mercedes-Benz, Maybach, how many of you know Maybach, Benz, and all? In France, our company tests cars for Peugeot, and also we do a lot of things with all these brands. And the chief designer of Mercedes-Benz itself, one of the chief designers in Nigeria. He draws and paints cars, he does cars, design, structure, what have you in Nigeria. And this is a guy in one of the better place like that many years ago before opportunities took him away from there. The world needs needed what we have. So between what the world needs, this is what we are, between what the world needs and what you can be paid for, you have what they call vocation. Vocation. Have you heard people say, this is my vocation? For example, I'm an estate surveyor and valuer professionally. That is what I went to school to read. That's what I became a professor in. But vocationally, I've been developing myself in technology, innovation, robotics, what have you. It becomes my vocation because I can be paid for it. The world wants it, and I have it in me. It has become a passion because I love it, and I've perfected myself on that thing. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So, here, this is what the world needs. Between what the world needs and what you love to do is what we call mission. Have you heard people say, I'm a missionary? I'm a missionary. What the world needs and what you love to do. Pastors are missionaries. I have a mission. The mission is, yes, I want to do this because the world is in need of it. Now, there's an intersection here, the heart of the matter, where everything intersects. You know, if you draw a line here, it meets at the heart here. The heart of it all is what? Purpose. So if you are ever in doubt of what your purpose is in life, it lies in the intersection of what you love to do, what you are best at, what you can be paid for, what the world needs. A combination of your passion, your profession, your mission, and your vocation. Do you get it? When you say it like that, you use like complicated English, but you are seeing it breakdown. Just remember the cross. Keep your eyes on that cross. Can you see the relation between the things you take for granted and the deep meaning behind it? You see why most people will go to their graves unfulfilled. I don't understand how a human being will believe that salary, 10,000 naira, even if it's 1 million naira per month, don't you have footballers earning 250 million naira per week? Are they happy? No, ask yourself. Have you ever heard of their crimes and their steals and that? They're still working. If you are earning that, you're earning for a month, and the typical Nigerian will just, have you seen footballers lately? Have you heard stories about footballers? Have you seen musicians, huge musicians, powerful musicians, dying broke with all the money? Am I speaking to you? There's something called, I don't want to go political, there's something called neoliberalism. Neoliberalism commercializes everything, including friendship. Now it is commercialized. You can buy Twitter friends. You can buy Facebook friends. You can like yourself. You can appreciate, you can buy bots that will retweet what you are retweeted to feel good about yourself. Third thing, they have commercialized, including sex. They pay people now, other people's children donate their children to go and make sex videos for children for some sick human beings. They have commercialized everything, including protests. You see a grown woman, graduate, certificate and everything, carrying a sign, a misspelled sign, upside down. You don't agree. What's that word that they No, there's one word there. There's one word they normally use that they always personalize. But you get what I'm saying. Invite them. What are you? What are you protesting about? No, they say you carry this board for 1 hour, you collect 2,000 naira. You understand? People don't know their purpose. I see grown children, youths, on top Mainland Bridge, wearing signboard. They just wear signboard. That's their purpose in life. Wear signboard so that people drive in and read what is on their chest. And at the end of the day, they make their money. To them, they are making money. Those are talents. Yet you wonder why there is no electricity in your country. Yet you wonder why there are no people, reasonable people vying for political position. There was a guy, Lord Lugard, who was one of the people that started the problem for our conundrum. The guy looked at Nigeria, studied Nigerians very well, and he shook his head and said, I've never seen this kind of people before. They are so vain, they are not even no apprehension of the future. I'll read the quotes of the exact words that he used to describe Nigerians to you very soon. So without purpose, you see people, leaders, teenagers, parents, etc. become neurotic. What do I mean by neurotic? Don't mind my word. Neurotic, abnormally sensitive, obsessive, and anxious when they content themselves with inadequate or wrong answers to the questions of life. In the period of my father, there used to be something called defense. Defense is pick a grown-up man. My time is almost over. I'll just rush on. Pick a grown-up man, put him in a place, put him in a cubicle, don't cross his space, just be doing this, give him an assignment to do. Gradually, they remove the enclosure. After a while, the grown-up man will find himself in an empty space. Because he has been used to a confinement, he will still imagine in his mind that fence is still there. Just like you in the university, there was a time when Anita was very strong. Yabate here, we don't take nonsense, But after there was a particular set that went on strike and they didn't even bother to come back to school again from that strike. The Anita was so hot, they cancelled the student union this entirely. So when we came, if there is no water and you say, who has said? Everybody say, on your own. They don't want to protest. The society has reconditioned us to accept and to normalize evil, to accept and to normalize wrongs. And the reason why they push children and youth to school today is just to get you out of trouble, to keep you off the streets. It's a trick, hypnosis. You go to school, they teach you a couple of things, and the moment you collect that certificate, that cardboard, that same cardboard that people used to sell but not as the moment you collect it, everything they have read for in school, erases itself, you wipe out. So when you're looking for jobs, what did you read in school? And they say, you read a mechanical engineering, oh, very good. So tell me, what's your view? What was your topic, project topic? My lecturer actually gave me one. So, how did you defend it? Because I paid 70,000. So he just thanked me for this. What was the topic? I will go and check. That is a graduate for you. You see, when it comes to recruitment, and again, you're trying to recruit people into a system to train them to build something or to run something to make the country better. But they're not even there. Send people abroad from your office for training. When they come back, they update their CV, apply to somewhere else for better pay. This day and age, you will hardly find a youth working in a place for 5 years. In the second year, you look for another person. Check your friends working in the back, jumping from one place or leapfrogging from one place to another. Still, they are not happy. They borrow money to buy car, borrow money for the clothes to wear, borrow money to pay for flat. The moment they downsize in the bank, their life is over. There are many medical students out there whose father used to be bank MDs, they are no longer having jobs right now, and the future is bleak for them because they cannot afford the school fees. We see these things every day. We don't want you to end up that way. How do we build Nigeria without building the South? How do we build Nigeria without knowing who we are? When we say revolution, yes, we do revolution. Revolution will not start by burning tire on the rudimental road. It's not burning tire. It starts from here, on the core, purpose, heart. It starts from recognizing, identifying, knowing who you are. It starts from identifying yourself. The first revolution starts in the mind. And the Bible already made it clear. Renewing your mind. You need to see things differently with different eyes. And how do you see? You are not seeing currently because you don't know your purpose. The moment you know your purpose, you know things that you ought to do and things that you ought not to do. So what causes the angst? What causes the problem? What causes the doubt? What causes the, this struggle of I want to become this, I want to become that, I want to make money, I want to whatever, is that Unknown, the fear of the unknown. I don't want to be poor. You struggle all your life to get to where you are. In order not to go back to where you're coming from, you want to still to secure yourself. And then some people will tell you, I don't want my children to suffer like I suffer. So you see brats all around, out of school, collecting allowances from parents, driving daddy's car up and down to chase girlfriend, wearing designer clothes and designer wear up and down, and then their daddy is helping them to look for job. Sorry, my son just finished from Leicester, and then he's looking for a placement, and I don't know if there's a place. Oh, okay, let him come to my office. Let me have an interview with your son and whatever. Then you get there as a finished word. Okay, so how much do you think you will pay? Say 500,000 naira. What value are you bringing? What are you studying? This or that. I'll add value. Value how? What value are you bringing? They say, so how did you arrive at 500,000 naira per month? You tell them Father gives them allowances of 200,000. So if there's any job that is coming, sure, it's paid twice as the parents are paying. Okay, what are you bringing back to us as a company? So how many companies make 500,000 naira per month that are not put this in a branch? Who doesn't even know the reason why it's in the world? Who is living in the shadow of his parents' achievement? Probably they are in whatever they do or whatever it is. You know, that is the kind of world we find ourselves. And you have forgotten that you cannot be sitting down complaining about NEPA, transportation, security, economy. But when you are the answer to the questions that we're seeking, unless you manifest, every one of you, nobody is useless. Everybody matters. Because the way God created us, just in case you don't know, the way God created us with a thorn in our flesh to perfect us, lest we make gods of ourselves. In other words, there are things that you don't have that God intentionally made you lack so that you can connect to this man who has it. What you lack is a job for another. There are things I cannot do. I don't struggle with it. I'm not that Nigerian. It's a Nigerian that wants to be MD, CEO, you see somebody talking Nollywood artist. I wrote my own movie, I directed my own movie, I started my own movie, and when I played that role, I'm everybody in my movie, and when I had the camera, while I'm in front of it at the same time, That is not what God created. God created us for networking. God created us for networking. The disciples, professional fishermen, they went to toil. They tried all their best. They caught nothing. Jesus stepped in their boat, and they caught so much fish that their boat started sinking. They had to call other people to come and share part of their blessing. God created us for network. The global system that we have now, it is no longer kata. You know what kata means? Buying and selling. It is the currency of the globe, of the global economic structure we have now, is trust. It's not in money, it is in trust. When you go to the bank and say, I need a loan, and they tell you, how much do you need? You say, I need 1 million naira for a project. They will look at you. Do you have 1 million naira property? Do you have 1 million naira car? Do you have 1 million naira investment in other things? Do you have 1 million naira or more that you can afford to lose? What are they asking you? To us in our society, we are meant to believe that banks are supposed to provide for our needs. No, banks are not there to grant needs. Banks are there to enable someone who already has nothing, something that he cannot afford to lose. And what is that thing? It is called capital. It is called trust. Capital. That's where the word capital comes from. They want to be sure, they want to be certain that you already have value inside of you. You only need something to facilitate an immediate need, which you are bigger than. In other words, if that need doesn't work, you can easily pay off with what you have. Because you won't want to be said to have lost your property. So you will pay the money if the business does not work. And because you are bigger than that already. That's why you see your politicians buying big properties. If you go to Abuja, you see properties that people don't even bother to live inside. Because they are beautiful. But that the value of that property, based on the value of the land, and based on the way our house looks, it commands something. So they will use that value to go and obtain loans from them. Because you cannot have a personal relationship with a bank. So the best thing to have a relationship is show them what you have that you cannot afford to lose. Everything still boils down to trust. Let me bring it home, closer to you. If I come, most of you enter buses and what have you. You hear people talk sell medicine. This medicine, in fact, you can wake the dead. This medicine, in fact, if you use it, you'll be strong. If you use it, your blood will be this. If you use it, nobody really buys it because you don't really trust that product. But the day you hear your friend, somebody you've known for many years, tell you, man, there's this drug. This one is so good. He doesn't want you to speak much. You say, okay, buy this, a copy. From there, you will tell other people. From there, other people. And they will begin to buy because there is a connection between people talking about this drug that they can trust. If you see a symbol of close-up, you are not going to go and buy close-up. But if your friend that goes to the same church tell you about close-up, you want to have a copy. Do you agree with me? That's the way the world works now. So the world works on network, connected, trusted network. And in order to build trust, not everybody that will know you personally or come and live in your house, they need to see the work of your hands. You need to show that you have purpose. You need to show that you have identified your purpose and you are developing yourself constantly to bring value to the world. Everything that I'm saying now, there are practical examples or there are the applications of what we've read so far. Self-worth and who is a Christian. The Bible has it already mapped. I'm not saying anything that is outside the books here. The Word of God is perfect and replete with things that we're going to walk through in life. But we are too engrossed in our problems that we forget that, there is a God self inside of us. Are you getting something? Are you getting something? Let me put that into there's no how you can build a nation where the people don't understand who they are. You cannot build a nation without building itself. You cannot have a leadership that does not understand itself. Because the first thing you need to do as a leader is to conquer yourself first. You need to first sort out yourself, who you are. Know who you are, conquer yourself before you cannot begin to lead others wherever you want to lead them to. People seek position, marriage, reputation, outward success, instant gratification or money and remain unhappy and irritated even when they have attained what they are seeking. Some people are usually confined with too narrow a spiritual horizon. Too narrow a spiritual horizon. Their life has not sufficient, there's no sufficient meaning. But however, if they are enabled to develop into more spacious personalities, the neurosis disappears. Translation in ethic. If the people you see struggling at the bus stop 4 a.m., jumping on car, jumping car, if they understand this, why was I created? Why am I here? Who am I? Am I an iron being used to boil water? Am I a boiler being used to iron clothes? Also understand that purpose, the heart of the matter. Everything begins to clear for you. Your angst goes away, your troubles goes away, your neurosis disappears, your anxiety, vanishes. We don't live in a material world. The material you are running after was created by somebody who thought deeper than you did. He commercialized his product and then you are hooked on it. You are now a junkie on somebody else's creation. When you are designed to make art, you are designed to make a difference. You are designed to impact your world. You are designed to influence your world. The world and the global system itself is all about influence. If you desire you influence people or they influence you. If you look at peer pressure and what have you, most times, it's either your friends create an impression on you or you make an impression on them. So whoever that has the surest impression wins. Somebody becomes a follower, somebody becomes a leader. But in the toil, in the space of the leadership space, there are some things that we don't tend to pay attention to. When you look at the fish, how many of you have seen a fish in water? At least you've seen that black fish, that catfish, and it said that they use a club to strike when they are trying to sell it to you. When a fish swims in water, it swims and swims and swims on, and there's no end to the water. Likewise, when you study the bird, it flies on, and there's no end to the sky. And from the most ancient times, there's never been a fish who swam out of the water. No, there was a bird who flew out of the sky. Yet, when a fish needs a little water, it needs just a little. And when it needs a lot, it uses a lot with the tip of its head at the horizon of their space. We as men, we have inculcated the habit, of grabbing. You have access to something, you want to hold it all so that everybody else will be feeding from the palm of your hand. The fish are not as stupid, the birds are not as stupid. Why can't we live or learn from our environment? Human beings are not created to live outside this environment. If you bring a fish out of water, what happens to that fish? What happens? When you take oxygen away from man, what happens? The gas and that. In other words, we are created for our environment. We are supposed to be in sync with our environment. There's something God has created us for that makes us limitless. In other words, you don't have an end. Once you discover your purpose in life, you enjoy the rest of your life. Then you are struggling. Maybe you have been saving money. Probably you have like 2,000 or 3,000 naira. The same kid is coming to stadium to come and sing. And he said, you know what? The gate fee is going to be 10 naira. First come, first serve. I only want 3,000 people. If you like whiskey, don't pretend that this is a job or whatever. If you like whiskey, it's music, and you know that you can afford the gate fee, you go there. It's not that you are rich, but because there's a part of you that connects with that entertainment, you want to go and enjoy yourself, and you want to go and pay. Whiskey is just being himself. He doesn't need to do anything else other than being whiskey at that event. You are going there to enjoy yourself by watching him be himself. So he makes money for being himself, while you're still struggling to discover yourself. To whiskey, what is like work to you is play to him. He's doing what he would naturally do. He gets paid. I think for a living. I tell people how to live their life, how to structure their organization. I tell people, you don't manage people. You manage generators, you manage cars, you manage equipment, but you model people, you mentor people, you bless people, you rub minds people, you develop people. When I was employing, I didn't employ the qualified. I employ the ready. People I know that has something to do. I can tell when I look at you, ask you, what's your name? What do you enjoy? What do you like? Where do you school? Some personal questions that are like very normative. From your answers, I can tell who you are. I can tell what you can become if you see opportunities. If you prepare you enough. Because success is opportunity meeting preparedness. If you prepare you enough and you meet your opportunity, what you can become. And I've done, it's a practical example of what we have done. ITV, how many of you know ITV? ITV was a butcher here from many years back. You don't know ITV? I know that you know. HITV. The ones that were showing soccer one time. Okay. I was technical director of ITV. I brought ITV to Nigeria technically. The dishes, technology, the football rights, what have you. We're trying to break the bone of the DSTV monopoly in Nigeria at that time. So I met a lawyer, wonderful person, said, look, SEGA, we need to do this, we need to do that, come back home, don't stay abroad, let's do this, it's our country, let's build our country, let's create jobs for people, what have you. And then I came. So I got people from the street. There was a guy who used to work in a cyber cafe there. So anytime I come with my laptop, he's always taking care of, the way he attends to me, it was so unique. It was so unique. So I was like, for this guy to be so happy doing what he's doing, thinking of there must be something, So I asked him, I said, which school did you finish from? He said, he didn't graduate, he had not gotten an admission. And And I saw the way he was very enthusiastic about technology, and I said, no problem, come and work with me. There are many of them like that. I just saw them passionate something. I will train them as broadcast engineers and what have you. Most of them now are working for TVC and several other companies out there. What am I saying? Your certificate sometimes can limit you. Do not allow your current environment to define you, because there is something that God has prepared before, and it lies in that thing that brings you for every time you do. Don't let somebody else laugh at you. Don't let somebody else tell you, let me help you. To become like myself. Don't try to be like anybody. Don't be like me. Don't be like anybody else. Be you. When somebody inspires you, try as much as possible to use him as a point or her as a point of contact to find yourself. Don't replicate what already can only be second best. So bring out yourself. Don't be like the monkey. The monkey saw the fish and said, "Oh, fish, let me save you, lest you drown, by sticking you up in the branch of a tree." What does that mean? The monkey believes that since he cannot swim, seeing something else in water means the thing is in danger. So let me bring it up to the tree where it will be safe, because I'm safe on the tree. You are not. The fish is not the monkey, and the monkey is not the fish. But in your school today, what happens? Monkeys or gorilla or antelope or everybody in the same class. They will teach you the same way and expect you to. So the moment a goat and a monkey have been tested on their ability to climb a tree, automatically the goat becomes an imbecile. He cannot climb the tree. They are the last in class. He did not know anything. They are foolish. You will be a mechanic. You can never be a doctor. You can never succeed in life. Because the means at which the test that they are giving the two of you is not fair, because that's not your flair. It's not everybody that can learn this way. Some people learn by interpersonal relationships. Some people learn by audio. Some people learn by visual. Some people learn by putting everybody in the same class, like in the factory where you're making bread, and everybody becomes brown. It's not the same way with education, and that's one of the failure of education today. Vocational studies in Singapore, in other countries, you don't need to go to university. You can get certificates, learn how to sew, how to make hair, how to do this. You can specialize. There are so many possibilities. But we all want to go to university in Nigeria so that we can speak big English, collect certificates, look for a good paying job, so that I can buy a car, wait me, have a girlfriend, have a friend, marry, pay bills, and then pay never bills, pay this and that, send our children to school to continue the same foolishness, and then we die the videos, they carry everybody, they come and sing, and that's it. Do you think that's why you are here? Go to the burial ground, stroll there one of these days. You see books that were never written. You see technologies that were never deployed. You see innovations that we never know. We cry that we are in the black continent. We're not the richest in resources, mineral resources, in human resources. Your president comes and tells you, because oil has fallen, the world has ended. We must die in recession. Whereas there are people like you who are gifted singers, who are gifted writers, who are gifted this and that and that. That's what makes the world. That's what makes the world. Until we get it right, until we understand what leadership means, we may never succeed as a nation. So we cannot build a nation until we build itself. We cannot have good leadership until there are enlightened followers who are difficult to rule, impossible to enslave, and easy to govern. But because you don't know your right, you don't know your worth, you don't know who you are, you have low self-esteem, you don't even know what Christ is, you don't know your purpose in life, you don't know what it means to accept Christ, you don't know what it is to be free, you don't know what it means to have your subconscious and your conscious in sync, so that you can actually see things as they are. That is why a SARS officer, a policeman, will see you and say, "Bring me your phone." Oh, you have Yahoo Messenger on your phone, you're a Yahoo boy, and then you believe it. Because you want to save yourself, you pay out on that. You quickly go and take him to the ATM, withdraw you have, dash it to him. They have made the day you have been exploited. And as you have accepted, probably it will happen to your children, and it goes on and on like that. Society cannot be healed. We can't build a nation, but we focus on the most important thing, and the most important thing is you. The connection in economy is so interesting that we see it everywhere we go. There's YouTube. You know what YouTube is? You know what YouTube is? YouTube is just a media platform that sells your story. It sells your story. You don't know your value. Let us commercialize it for you. Put people on the network. Just show yourself. Show your shape. Show whatever it is. Just pick yourself. Put it there. Let them like it. While people are engaging watching different foolishness per day, both talents, both foolishness, both what have you can sell advert to people from them. Since you don't value it, other people commercialize it. It's either you influence people or you are influenced. These things have done what I've discussed with you today just a seed. I would have loved to do more, I would have loved to engage more and take you further. But the little you have heard is the main everything you heard today put together is a seed in your hands. And that seed can turn you into an oak tree. Just think deep about it and continue to tell yourself, I am the answer to the questions of Nigeria. I am the answer to the problems of Nigeria. And unless I manifest, Nigeria will continue to be like this. If you don't agree on anything, probably we are from a different part of Nigeria. You know, if you don't agree on anything, we agree on one thing. We are all going to die. Is this what we want our children to live through? Is this what we want our children to live through? Hello? Is this the kind of world we want our children to live in? So in order to make our children live in a better place, for you to live in a better place, we need to do better. We need to be more conscious. And we need to be proactive by influencing our world. Thank you very much.
Praise the Lord. And from the address of our speaker, I discovered that some of the professionals that I excel abroad, they find it difficult. What am I saying? I was listening to TV broadcast one day, and they were telling us that this man that we are seeing is a medical doctor, that he performed excellently overseas. Now, you discover that we don't have such kinds of people here in Nigeria, but the enabling environment make it difficult for them to perform excellently. What am I saying? We have some researchers in schools that are supposed to be supported by government, but the fund is not there. Even if the fund is there, it may be diverted to another area. We have some people with good business ideas that need to be supported financially. But by the time that you walk into this bank, the percentage that they will charge as interest is very exorbitant. So you discover that all these things make it difficult for youths that are agile and they want to do it well. So I want to ask, what can we do in such situation? Should we still stay here, or if we have opportunity, we should just find our way out of this place?
Thank you very much for that. Probably because I was speaking English, you think I'm foreign. My school was, how many of you know Ojota? Ojota Secondary School, that's where I went. From Ojota Primary School, this Ojota Community Primary School. And they pity that future and called it Ojota Secondary School, Ojota Primary School. And I went to Ojota Secondary School before I came to Yabate and crossed to Unila. So I'm almost 98.999% Nigerian. Okay? There's no such thing as a lizard in Nigeria cannot come to an alligator in America. You understand? Enabling environment or no enabling environment, no opportunity for other effects. There is no such thing as no way out. Government, yes, they're supposed to create enabling environment and what have you, but they are not. Continue to do what you're doing. Be the best at what you do. Be the noun of your field of endeavor. Start from there. Then when they talk about politics or no politics, get involved. Okay? Because if you don't have the right people in the right place, they will frustrate your business. Which is why people say, I'm a Christian, politics is a dirty game, you still have a belief. Aristocracy, when the worst of you becomes the head of you, that's exactly what's happening in most African countries. It's because educated people shy away. There's nothing as bad as a political illiterate. You see a PhD holder who is a political illiterate. He doesn't understand what politics is all about. And politics is like, even in your family, there's politics. Is that not politics in your family? Which family here has a neighborhood environment? Does your father know it all? You will be seeing that as you grow, you will be seeing like this with your parents that you will not want to happen in your family. So if you can survive your family politics and lack of the depth of enabling environment, how will you not survive the country? You think God made a mistake making you in Nigeria? God didn't. See, when God sent a raven to someone to go and feed him somewhere, you think God will not dry up the roots where he is? Hunger will finish if you don't go to your place of assignment. If God made you in Nigeria, and see, I can tell you, most of the people you see abroad, lecturers in Canada and all, they are miserable. It's only shame that is not making most of them come back home to come and settle because they are going to start afresh. So they don't want to start afresh, so they remain a slave in foreign land. They are not happy. See, the fact that things are not being solved right now shows that space for you. The solution lies in all of you here. Moses gave an excuse that he cannot speak, that he is stammering. God said, look, the laxity in you are the main profession by a brother who can speak. What you don't have is a job for somebody else. Leaders, true leaders, genuine leaders, create more leaders. Genuine leaders hire their weaknesses. We don't need a president that is a genius, that is an engineer, a doctor, a chemist, no. We need a president that understands that his limitations and is able to employ his weaknesses. Ronald Reagan was an actor, was the most useless profession at that time. He was only popular, nothing more. He was facing a lot of communism as at that time. He was facing communism. And he was able to unravel and solve the communist problem in America at that time. He was celebrated. And that's it. How did he do it? You know what he said? He said, I employed my weaknesses. In other words, I know my limitations. If I need something on linguistics, I will get somebody who has studied English in school or studied whatever. Employ him. He will advise me or she will advise me. That's how Nigeria will work. Things did not get solved, probably for you people, for your generation and our generation, because we don't have what it takes. It lies in your hands. So what God is telling us is, invest in the youth. The strength, the Nigeria cannot become until we deploy the energy of the youth and the wisdom of the elders. So stop looking at yourself as being outside the system. You are in the system. The system is this way because it's waiting for your contribution. Don't run away anywhere. Nigeria is your country. It's your fatherland. Make generations to come proud of you and make your fathers proud of you. Stay here, find yourself. The best way you can start is being the best in what you do. Find yourself and discover yourself. Thank you very much.
I think we can take two more contributions. Then we have to answer.
Just right now to what that Robert already said. I lectured in 2 different Chinese universities for 12 years. Am I right? About 7 years. We were miserable. Miserable only test of something. In Nigeria, the students will respect their lecturers or their teachers. No. We call it black monkeys, And in fact, first of all, the order from the universities don't fail anyone. To imagine your students going to black monkey, a lecturer in Nigeria, you like you are filled already. No. You can learn that. Like me, myself, my wife, and my son together, family, they got those things. So being miserable, he says, I don't want to discourage you, but I talk about opportunities out there, very limited. Maybe you should have, if you are very sure of where you're going, something the person connecting with maybe, but opportunities out there, we need to create something ourselves. I mean, in this country, if you can get all of maybe youths to come together, put our funds together, and try to do something out there. You see so many Nigerians, build Chinese prisons, and I even understand some people, their kidneys have been aggressive, being killed, and the government does nothing. They don't even think about what they don't even know. Okay, that was this very, it's not funny. One of these Nigerians that I went to brought, because he was even treated that we would take him to South Korea and we would take him to China and dump after taking the money from Nigeria. So he was forced to really good. Now, about to be killed. The Chinese law kills communism, doesn't respect life. It gives the gram of drugs that are there. They kill themselves in the week, like a black. They don't respect it. So this guy asked one of the emperors, South America, said, how are we going to die? The man said, I just said, I don't know how you're going to die. But you have a message from parents or your families in Nigeria. So we should be very careful about nursing this idea of, I want to go to a foreign country, no. You have to be extremely careful. You know, in fact, my job was given to a white man or Frenchman to lecture oral English. He couldn't even speak, he can't even speak English. So that's they take the job, all the time they take the job and give it white because they appreciate white more than you. Oh, no matter how you look, just relax. We've got a name, a very big name, Nigerians, forget it. So now, we're forced to be back in Nigeria. So I'm saying that, please, I'm not saying you should be ambitious, but be very, very careful. That is you are going. It's easy. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your speech, sir. I've really learned so much. My question, or before my question, sir, please, there was a seminar I attended, the last one I attended. Something happened that really encouraged us as members that attended that seminar. Our speakers were able to give us their number, their contact on WhatsApp, so for us to be able to further ask questions, then they were able to mentor us in whichever area. So I really, so in fact, that will really make my day if we can have such here, sir. I'll really be grateful. And then my question is this: when we're talking about the cross, what we love to do, after my secondary school level, I was somehow privileged to go into automobile work, mechanical works, because that's where my passion lies. I'm just so happy doing anything technical. So from there, I was able to graduate, go to a technical school and do just fulfill righteousness, and thank God today, I'll say I'm a proud owner of my own firm, registered under CAC. And along the line, while doing this, because I grew up in a rural area, then I discovered something else. Like the youth in my environment, most of them are not working. You see them even on Sunday morning, they just wake up, play football. You see adults among them. Some of them, they just gamble, like there's no plan for their future. So outside the automobile stuff, I now had like an inspiration. Something came to me like, okay, what can we do for these people? Something that will serve as a social responsibility. So I thought to myself that, okay, we can create a platform to reach out to these people. Some of them, they might want to learn a particular trade. They don't have the orientation, nobody to like remind the orientation on them, nobody to talk to them, or their parents are not financially buoyant to sponsor them. So I said, okay, I can set up a team to help sort this particular issue out. Then I discovered on the long run that most of them, it's not really as if there's nobody to sponsor them. It's just as if like some of them they are so into this thing that it's not easy. Honestly, sir, it's not easy. It cannot be easy for us to like bring them out of this thing. Some of them they think foolishly. You see, and I was when I started this, I started like getting to know that some of them are not even, they are not young. They are not young. Some of them they tell you their age. You wonder, how are you this foolish at this stage? So it cannot be easy, sir. And my main question is this. Somehow I'm getting tired. And I don't want to get tired because this is where my passion lies. I want to help them. So I need your advice on this, sir. Which other strategies can we put together to help better the lives of youth in Nigeria? I don't want to see the time of the program, but I will trust the organizers of this program with my number and my contact. We can create, we can create a form on WhatsApp for this gathering. So the people that register for this program, put them on the platform and their contact. So we can do that. So we can continue from here. I will share materials with you. You can ask questions. We are in it for life until you come out and say, from this program, this is a milestone for my life. I'm beginning to evaluate my life from now, from what I've heard, which I cannot compare. You know, I want to measure myself. By this time next year, I will have testimony to say, I heard some things, I ran with it, and this is who I am. And I will be able to help you as well and lift you up from wherever you find yourself. Whether you choose to want to work, want to further your education, whatever it is, according you want to run for elections for that matter, whatever it is. And also concerning what you raise, people are people and people will be people. We all have, that's why I say, when we're talking about good or bad, it's a function of exposure. That people who are doing stuff, that's all they know. They don't know whether it's bad or not. In Kenya, I have a hub like that too. In Kenya hemp and all these things, they are legal things. They mix them with tea, some people smoke them. You know, it is a thing. It of course drives them crazy, drives them what some people say, you make them intensify their personality or what have you. I know that drug abuse is dangerous for the brain. And I look at their fathers, I look at generations ahead of them, I see what they have become. You know? So you can actually tell, you know, the end game of most of these things. You have been enlightened, you have been exposed, and not to see it as many is not the way to go, but you don't see what you see. There's no way you talk to them that they see. They only see you as because you are babies. You know, like when you did this election and it's because I have a boyfriend and it's still, that's why you're talking to me and you think that, you know. Because anybody who advises you, what we think is they're trying to be, that's why a rich man, a poor man cannot advise a rich man. Because the first thing you think of is, you don't even know what I have. You don't even understand why I am. So if you're advising me, that means you're trying to overtake me to take what I have. That's why the president, the governor will not listen to their needs. Because they feel you are interested in politics too. So, which better way is it for you to, you know, to get to where I am than to, you know, advise me wrongly and get to my own seat? That's why people isolate themselves. So it's kind of difficult, but it can also give you the kind of support you need. You understand? That's for such people, and you can measure it. We do prison outreach, we do a lot of other things. We help a lot of people. People don't even know. My organization, for the past 2 years, we've been doing CSR in Nigeria. We're not even in Nigeria anymore. But we do SEGA in Nigeria, we buy legs for people who have no legs, we do stuff for people, randomly like that. Because the government is absent, so to say. We don't care what color you are, what tribe you are, who you voted in 2015. We don't really care about that. We care about you, because we know that the answer to Nigeria's manifestation lies in your manifestation, wherever you find yourself. And the earlier you find yourself, the better. The earlier you find yourself, the better. Thank you very much. I hope I've been able to do justice. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we give it all once again?